So, that to have this law passed in 1997 was a victory, right? A major victory for this community, right? Because already there was a strong anti-immigrant sentiment within Congress.
But not as strong as right now.
Well,
Not as strong as right now.
it was pretty strong. It was pretty strong back then too. I mean, back then you had two laws that were passed. That, one was to deny even legal residents, right? Even those who were sort of legally in the United States. A law was passed which was to deny them Social Security, right? To deny them Social Security and any other, government benefits. That later was changed, right? Because it was like, well, that's not fair. These people are contributing, right? They're paying into Social Security. Why shouldn't they be, allowed to, receive a pension if they have been sort of paying their taxes, right? They're legally, legal residents of the United States. So that was part of this sort of like strong anti-immigrant sentiment, and it all started here in California, right? Back in 1994 with Prop 187, right? Which was to deny services to undocumented immigrants. Yes?
Why were they so against it? Like, what was the reason for the
For what?
for having undocumented people in the U.S.?
Well, I mean, the question of undocumented immigrants, right, has always been part of this long history of the views around immigrant and immigration in the United States, right? If we go back to the beginning of the class, right, just to kind of circle back to that, we've discussed how there's been these two, views around what to do with immigrants, right? There's one view that says, right, we don't want them here, right? Send them back to where they come from, right? Well, there's another view that says, well, they're already here, let's find a way of integrating them, right? And that this has been part of this history, right, of the United States too, in terms of, what to do with immigrants, right? The one hand, they are rejected, made to feel unwelcome, undesirables. We gotta send them back. We gotta keep them from coming in, right? And then there's another that says, no, let's integrate them. So, IRCA, for example, was a response to this view that let's integrate them. And IRCA was bipartisan. This is that in 1986, it was Ronald Reagan who was president. So, a Republican who actually promoted and advocated for the legalization of the undocumented, right? I mean, today, right, it is, and actually the Republican Party is split on this, because there are Republicans that want to find a solution a la IRCA. Well, there are other Republicans who are quick to, say no. So, these are the policy debates that, as I said, we won't be able to get into because we've run out of time. So, this is the story, right, very briefly, of the Central American experience, particularly, as I said, of these Central Americans who came in the 1980s, okay? Because the bulk of the growth of the Central American community in the United States comes with the migration of peoples who left in the 1980s, driven out from their countries by war, right? And came to the United States seeking refuge. Right? And when they came to the United States seeking refuge, wars that were in part fueled by U.S. foreign policy, in the United States, these Central Americans were denied a refugee status. And as such, then these Central Americans began to organize to fight for a refugee status, which led to all of these different things happening, right, and emerging, like the sanctuary movement, like the sanctuary city movement, the lawsuits, and so on, which led to incremental victories, right? Like getting a temporary legal status and then ultimately, right, getting a permanent legal status. And this is how